Hey, it's Random Pop Culture News Freak here, aka MannyWolverine. You guys know the wrestler intros and outros towards this channel. Anyways, my friends, before I get into this, let me just play really fucking fast because holy crap, we got so much to cover. I know I'm doing this a little bit more of a later date, as most of you could possibly tell, but yeah. Anyways, my friends, without further ado, I may have to pause it. I hope I don't, but I might have to. But anyways. You just skipped like the first 3.5 minutes of this outro. So, give me 1 second. You'll see it. Okay. I usually do jump cuts for that, but I gotta make sure my soundproof styrofoam is all good in the hood. You're not gonna see that in my reactions. I do put it up, ironically enough. So it says Microsoft recalls the time it rejected. This was an OG nostalgia of the past. And this is originally going to be like 5 or 10 minutes. It's going to have to be 15 minutes because I found some extra news. I need you guys to really give a rat's butt about freaking this right here. If you can see it, Final Fantasy. If you can see this, hopefully you can see it. And if not, I apologize. Yeah, Final Fantasy is so popular, Square Enix and the Endwalker of Final Fantasy. They had to stop selling it. Holy crap on a stick. I had to talk about it. Even though I'm crazy, I'm not. You've known for years on this channel, I've never given a rat's shit about Final Fantasy. All the whole series is always boring as fuck up for Tifa, Lockhart, and Aerith Gainsborough. They fap to a bunch of Rule 34 prawn to it, obviously. So, hopefully you guys can hear it. I'm playing some old school GTA 3 music, so I'm going to get a copyright strike or claim for that, but it shouldn't matter. Anyways, my friends. Yeah, there you can see it a little bit better now. So, you Square Enix fans. Square Enix. I'm feeling the pinch for you guys. I'm feeling the pinch for you so freaking bad. I heard that's it's one of the least toxic communities ever. Is that true? Square Enix Asmon? I know that Asmongold has a very ginormous, very big presence on Twitch. He's more like, what 10, 15, 20 million people that follow that fool over Twitch Prime. So you know you just probably got to be a billionaire at this point. And yeah, as far as that goes, yeah, I'll leave the link to the duration point when I hear me overall thoughts using things Final Fantasy 14 went so popular that they had to stop it. It's from ungeek.com. But let's get to Eurogamer first. I'm only going to have this article, so this comes once usual. December 15th to 2020. Oh, this happened a while ago. So it says, the time you guys see is going to be very late in the day. It'll be Monday. Anyways, as part of its fascinating power, yeah, Microsoft freaking rejected this back in 2001 or 2. That is wild as frick to me. It was good. It's crazy. You even know PS2 and beyond. It made that one of the biggest iconic sandbox FPS games of all time. It was a platformer. It was way ahead of its time. It was one of those biggest controversial things, unfortunately, as everyone's, oh, Call of Duty, Mortal Kombat. As if you were a 90s parent, you probably remember saying this shit to your kid that I probably would have been your age right now. And I'm almost a 33-year-old grown man. But anyways, it made some of the biggest iconic headlines of all time, GTA. And sadly, one of those school bangs, unfortunately, looters that ever happened, especially the Shady Shooks. You know, one of the biggest fake psyop uncontrolled opposition, social engineering, like fake false paradigm NK Ultra shit's ever happened. They blamed it on Grand Theft Auto. I used to piss me freaking gosh dang hell off back then. So as part of his fascinating power and documentary series, I had no idea Microsoft, out of all people, Big Daddy Phil Spencer wanted to buy this. He might not have been CEO of Xbox, it was someone else. I think it was Homer Thatcher or something like that. I don't know. Some dude like Dane Packman, I don't know. He looked like a doinky looking, nerdy looking dude, but of course he was. Because Microsoft has discussed at the time they rejected. He wanted to sell everyone TVs, and Netflix and Blockbuster and Hollywood video things on your Xbox 360. So, geez, I feel like an old man talking about it. I am an old man on the internet. So let's begin. Microsoft has rejected Rockstar's pitch to put in Grand Theft Auto 3, the original, back in 2001. A decision that would ultimately lead to the multi-million-dollar selling phenomenon snapped up by Sony, at the time PS2 era. Holy shit, at the time exclusive. Story which follows similarly candid recollections from Microsoft Power On, including, oh, that was from that documentary. I've heard about that one. Never got time to watch it. I may never watch it ever again, especially next year. like I said in my older video last week's Saturday, if you watched it. It's Monday now at the time you guys are watching this, sadly. Oh man, I'm gonna have to take out and kill my nostalgia next year. That sucks. I'll still be alive physically, but I still want to talk and like focus on all the news that's going on in Europe, all the stuff in Scotland, Ireland, and Australia, New Zealand. That's gonna be my main big thing I focus on next year. And I might be doing Odyssey and D-Live and Odyssey. I had no idea you could do live streaming in Odyssey, so I might start doing live streaming over there. Not to worry about my channel getting shut down or getting copyright claims or strikes like I do here on YouTube, unfortunately, but you'll see. So anyways, so it also goes on to say including the admissions of Fable and developer Lionhead Studios. I never played Fable. From what I heard, that's like the Halo for the Xbox and Xbox 360 generations. I remember those. I think those 6 or 7 generation of games. So it says here the various gaming consoles. That's what I meant. Various members of the original Xbox. That's crazy. Original Xbox. Can you imagine it? Some of you Gen Z kids probably weren't even born yet. So it says when they saw the group on a quote brainstorming tour unquote across America, Europe, and Japan, built excitement and convinced developers its machines could be a success. During the tour, as recounted to Kevin Bouches, head of the Xbox third-party relations of Microsoft, was approaching my quote small gaming publishers unquote, was planning on revisiting PC game Drew Engeloff, Xbox Advanced Technology Group from 1999. I thought it was 2000 when it started. 1999. That's weird. But listen wrong. Or 2001. Picks up the story recalling of how a group of newly important executives of Xbox who reviewed the pitches for publishers and developers says, quote, I don't think the games are going to be making a transition to 2D. Unquote. It also goes on to say, oh yeah, you guys can read the rest on your own there after that blue thing I got highlighted, the paragraph. This quote, they felt it was complicated about Buchaus, however you say his name, I don't give a fuck, but let's move on. They didn't really understand the interface. They thought it was based on a game that hadn't been successful. To my surprise, it wasn't rejected, unquote. The game was, of course, GTA 3 aka Grand Theft Auto 3. It's a game a timed exclusive on Sony's PS2 after Microsoft's rejections, unquote. And ended up selling 14.5 million units, unquote. Buchaus, however you say it, laments. This quote, this was the top selling game of 2001. My god, I feel like a freaking old man when I say that because I was 12. At the same time when the big 9-1-1, one of the worst tragedies in NYC, New York City, and I seen it physically firsthand because I was living in Spanish Harlem. I forget that plane that hit the 9-1-1, you know what, the worst, scariest demolition ever. But let's move on. The blank 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 is an inside job, but let's move on. And it would have been top selling game of 2002 if it wasn't beating its own sequel. Crazy, sadly, morbid fact here. A little bit of a dark humor laugh. I think the reason why all the airplanes, except for the Dota, that couldn't fly, is because of what happened on that tragic day of September, you know what. You know, to me personally, that was a freaking government psyop. But let's move on. I'm not even going to get into that. This quote we've heard, the visions, and of course, luckily, thank God, in GTA 4, GTA 5, because freaking fly helicopters and airplanes later, thank God. Rockstar Games changed that in Rockstar North. We've heard the visions as a story before, quote, and of course, author Dean Takanashi related to the table back in 2006, and Xbox 360 unclothed the finger of blaming of the exciting and executes ominously. I know it's a star chambered under Allard command, but it's always refreshing to hear the major corporation like Microsoft readily admitting to it and reflecting it on its past mistakes in public fashion. Yeah, so overall thoughts, views, and opinions. It is just one of the OGs of the OGs. My God. It was so ahead of its time. It was one of the coolest games I played when I was an elementary middle school kid. Back in the 90s, early 2000s, and then the mid-late 2000s, of course, I was in high school. Oh man, I played so much of GTA 4 and Ballad of Gay Tony and the other one. Lost in the Dam. I used to play a crap ton of that. That in my freshman year of college, too. Beautiful, beautiful times. But anyways, my God. Well, let's get on to the next one. Rest in peace, old school Grand Theft Auto 3. And the one that I hope they don't screw it up. I really hope they don't F up. They do not F up the crap. If they ever do decide to make a split side remake remaster, please don't screw it up like they did with freaking GTA Definitive Edition. Please don't let that be another disaster. Or Bully. If they ever create a Bully thing, I heard Spawnway Media talking about this a few days ago. If they ever make the thing Rockstar's old school Bully game, please do not screw it up like you did Grand Theft Auto Definitive Edition. The Bully was like one of the coolest ass freaking things. It's like a dude that looked like Bobby Hill from King of the Hill. And you do so much wrecked-ish in there. Nowadays, you get probably canceled, or all the wokeism, SJWs, all these other fools, cancel culture vultures, they will get in your ass. You talk anything about the GTA Rockstar game Bully, but so fun as hell. That's the same people that made Leisure Suit Larry too, by the way. Old school, the old school one, not the one that came out in 2013, 15, 17, the remake. I'm talking about the OG one, 2004, by version, where you actually saw Playboy shit there too. Because this one comes from beautiful, unfortunately, I had perverted World 34 memories back then, but those when they called it Palo. That's what it's called, Palo, and Gelburu, and 4chan H. I can't tell you how much prawn and real nasty, crazy crap I used to fap off to about that. I'm a grown man now, I don't do that anymore. This comes from Niccolo Malato. Final Fantasy 14. So popular, Square Enix had to stop selling it. So yeah, I know this is a lot more older news now because you're watching this on Monday. It was real big at the time. I usually don't post videos this early because it's probably going to be from 2 to 3 instead of like 6 to like 8, 9 o'clock. My super late times when I post videos. After this, I probably just going to be 5 to 10 minutes. I'm only doing one story of video games for next week because the week after I'm taking a good 1 or 2 weeks off YouTube. And I might do full transition to like Odyssey, Rumble, and the other two, especially Odyssey and freaking BitChute. Odyssey and BitChute, I'm spending way more time over there by next year. So it says it's just been a bit over a week since Endwalker and Square Enix has suspended Final Fantasy XIV due to high demand it can never handle, could have handled, I don't know. Also goes on to say, currently Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker, I think too. I apologize, friends. I know I don't have no freaking Final Fantasy music. I'm still playing the GTA 3 old school music. Almost goes along with it. Hopefully it does. I pray to God that it does. Yeshua Yahweh Jesus HaMashiach. So it says, there it is. Currently, Final Fantasy XIV experiencing major congestions due to the number of players wanting to play their games, resulting in a long queuing times to log in. Will some of the players not even be able to do it on long server constraints? In response to this, FF14, aka Final Fantasy XIV, producer and director Nakoya Yoshida announced. One is related to the other Yoshida that was PS3, PS4, PS5 CEO at the time. The players will get 14 days of the game and time for a free compensation to the long-waited times that enters and serves. The compensation will apply to players who own the full version of Final Fantasy XIV, FF14, and active subscriptions on Tuesday, December 21st of 12 p.m. Oh, okay. By the time that comes out, it'll be Tuesday, I think. Hopefully, PST time. Alongside with the Square Enix, English is temporarily stopping the sales Final Fantasy XIV Starter Edition and Complete Edition. This also means that the player registration and its free trial will be suspended for the time being. And I know you guys wanted to play the shit out of this game for so many years. So many goddamn years. Absolutely. Feel bad for you Square Enix fanboys and fangirls. My heart goes out to you, honestly. It truly does. Let's keep moving. Final Fantasy. Finally, Square Enix has confirmed is working on its Era 200, 2002. It occurs during long queens. I've seen a bunch of the videos on it. It is fucking bad as hell. In a bad way. Negatively garbage way, but let's continue. Just given that fact that Final Fantasy XIV and Endwalker, of course, such high demand has stopped temporarily, this is definitely sufferingly a success, though not surprisingly given the popularity and impact. FF14 is the most profitable Final Fantasy game today. Square Enix makes a boatload of money. They'll be okay. They'll be Gucci as hell, man. Honestly. But overall thoughts, views, and opinions, you guys are going to be screwed big time. Hopefully you just be patient. Hopefully you guys are in a toxic community, because I heard you in the nicest MMORPG community of all time. That's all I say for now. Peace out, dudes. Goodbye. Later. See you flip side. Won't take you out. Stay tuned more future content. Channel with videos and interesting and mondies. TFTG dramas. And that's it. Goodbye, dudes. I'll talk to you guys soon. Take it easy. Goodbye. Stay extra safe. Goodbye. Later. Talk to you soon.